Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? So I did start testing the new Super Battle Road stages, and this is pretty much the team I started off with for the movie bus category. I think this was pretty much my first attempt. I can't remember exactly. I might have did like a test pilot run beforehand, but I really had no idea what the enemy types were or even how many enemies there were. So a lot of unexpected factors with that. I'm kind of doing the commentary as a look back, but for the team itself, it is the Super Saiyan Broly leaders. Of course, they have the movie bus category lead on top of full power. Of course, you can only include movie bus category units on this particular stage. Other units include Jin-Nolar, obviously a great unit. The more he gets hit, the stronger he gets as well. Also has the ability to reduce attack and defense as part of the super attack. Pretty solid unit overall. On top of that, he's got the ability to transform. That conserves a lot of HP reductions and damage from the enemy. So overall, very good unit to include on this setting. Now, I did include the Extreme Z Awakened physical type legendary Super Saiyan Broly as well. I actually do enjoy using this guy now ever since the EZA because he is actually quite good. Attack and defense increase percent-wise from the passive. Super attack has the ability for additional attacks or additional super attacks or whatever the case is, and also has the ability to increase the critical hit rates. I think max was 40% based on the amount of attacks performed or number of turns passed. I can't remember exactly, but a lot of good features about that unit, very beneficial to have. The thing about this Broly is it's a good linking buddy for the Super Saiyan Broly as well, so it's worthwhile to include. You can stack the attack and defense based on the super attack. Of course, the built-in additionals will further increase that amount at a much quicker pace, so he can actually defend pretty decent. Janemba, of course, is a very, very solid unit. Very good tank, has a medium chance to dodge, also gets an increased toward attack stats once receiving an attack, so very solid unit overall. Actually a pretty good hard hitter, definitely does some damage. I did include the LR Metacooler army as well, just because, I don't know, like when I was team building, I was a little bit on the fence about which units to include, but I ended up choosing the LR Metacooler army because really just the built-in additionals definitely do help. Also the ability to lower defense, like a lot of these other units included, they do have the built-in super attack ability to lower the enemy's defense, so that is going to make life a little bit easier in the long run. Plus, the greater HP levels, the attack stats can get quite up there, and overall, defense-wise, pretty good too. So those are pretty much, I think, everything. Of course, yeah, Golden Frieza. How could I forget? Very important unit for this setting because of the ability, not only now with the EZA, to tank very well, but actually produces a pretty decent amount of firepower as well. So very, very helpful to have. You can pretty much tank all your attacks. Now, even if HP falls below 50%, he can still mitigate. I think it was 50% damage. So very, very good unit still overall. Prior to the EZA, if HP was below 50%, he lost that ability to tank. So I'm glad with after the Extreme Z Awakening, he was able to maintain some sort of damage mitigation. It does help out a lot. In particular, these types of settings on Super Battle Road. So I guess they're doing yard work right now outside of my window with the leaf blower. You might hear that in the background, but hopefully it doesn't affect you guys too much. Alright, so first part cleared. Relatively smooth. I think we used just one item, so not too bad here. Again, this is one of the first runs that I did, so really, if I had items available, I'm going to use them. Basically, that's pretty much what the mentality was. It's all about, being able to clear it, honestly, at that point. So, alright, so this is the second item used, which was the Ghost Usher. So I think in the prior battle we did use the Whis item. That was a 40% reduction to damage received. Ghost Usher obviously delays attack for one turn from the enemy, so pretty helpful there. Okay, so it looks like we have Agility, Goku, Physical type Vegeta, and the Intelligence Trunks unit. So I am going to be placing attacks depending on where we could apply the most damage. Basically, get rid of the most pain in the ass units first, and then we'll go from there. Decent amount, 700k without the criticals, and then the other two units are obviously a little bit weaker than the lead enemy, quote unquote, but we should be able to go through this relatively quickly. Another good thing about this team setup is obviously Broly can attack all enemies, so that can definitely help out a lot, especially when you're applying, close to 1.4, 1.5 million in damage with the criticals. It definitely does make a difference. So I think we're just going to continue on here and just keep pummeling the Goku unit. So I thought, but it looks like I did switch over to Vegeta, and then just continue on with Vegeta, basically because Goku won't be attacking in the second or third slot. So in order to minimize damage received with the other two units, Metacooler and LR Metacooler Army, just want to get rid of the other pain in the ass units out of the way. Just had enough HP to apply an attack. Luckily it didn't do too much damage, but I did switch this guy to attack Trunks, so Vegeta is going to be hitting Metacooler right here, but yeah, it shouldn't be too much since we did use, so 30,000 in normal damage. That's not too bad at all. Alright, so should be able to do a lot of the work here. It's all about how to position these guys, right? So I think I ended up going with the Legendary Super Saiyan Broly with the first attack, just try and eliminate Goku out of the picture, and then hopefully with the Super Saiyan Broly unit, he would pretty much apply all the attacks on all enemies, so hopefully KO pretty much both the units, but we shall see. Alright, so second battle cleared, not too bad. We still have a pretty decent amount of items left here. And looks like Gohan, so who else is going to be in the battle here? Looks like the pretty much family Kamehameha plus the Trunks. So it is going to be Tech type, Strength type, and Agility type. So of course that kind of makes you wonder how to go about with the attack, but with that in mind, we do have a lot of items left over. Nothing to really worry about at this point, but the thing about Super Battle Road is anything can pretty much change at any minute. So since we do have the items here, might as well use the damage reducing Whis item and just take 40% less in damage than we might. So this is where I kind of screwed up, and I didn't have enough orbs to attack with the Metacooler unit, but I was like, I guess at least we used an item, we'll be alright. Missed out on an opportunity, but it is what it is. Hopefully, it didn't cost me, but, that's kind of where my head was at the time. Luckily, though, most of the attacks looks to be coming in the first slot where Golden Frieza is placed, so we really don't have to worry about much there. Took a pretty decent damage, I think. So we do still have that 40% reduction applied, so that does save us a little bit. Just keep Metacooler up front, and just try and eliminate Trunks here. Just go through it one by one, basically, and then we do have the AoE type attack with the Broly unit, so things should be okay with that. And that was pretty clutch right there with the dodge. I only gave this guy level 5 toward evasion, so the fact that it kicked in at that time was pretty sweet. So the only thing that worries me here is basically the after Broly's attack here, we've got the Goten unit, which is a strength type. If he supers here, Broly could potentially take a lot of damage. And that's pretty much what happened here, is Goten decided that he wanted to super, so it's about 245,000 in damage, but you know, the Whis item definitely helped there. We could have definitely taken a lot more damage had I not used that item. I don't know if this was enough to get rid of Trunks here. Yeah, just enough, but that third one kicked in, and we know for a fact he's out of the picture now. Alright, and then we got the switch with the Metacooler. The thing about this is it worked out pretty well because the next unit that I wanted to get rid of was Goten. So the fact that, you know, all the attacks will have type advantage against Goten is pretty sweet. It is in a way a little bit of a time waster, but I think overall it worked out okay because, you know, as you saw, I mean, Gohan obviously supered, and who knows what would have happened there, but you know, it definitely does make things a little bit more stable having this ability to go into, you know, the transformation mode or giant form or whatever. Let's see how much in damage he actually applies here. So without the criticals, it's just 1 million flat, which is, you know, not bad, honestly. For Metacooler, I think he was level 14 additional attack, level 12 criticals. So that's probably, if you haven't noticed, he does tend to get some additionals out there. So I think level 14 is a pretty good setup for him in terms of additional attack. But slowly but surely, we are getting rid of the competition here. And he decided he wanted to have a little bit left over in health to where I had to waste a super attack where it could have been toward Gohan, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, the critical didn't activate, so it would have done very little damage to Gohan anyway. This is kind of crazy. It actually went 3 full turns, so I was expecting to go back to the normal state after the second turn, but yeah, I mean, it's an extra turn where you don't have to worry about, you know, incoming attacks or anything, and try to get a super attack or at least an additional attack and potentially some criticals out of the way, and just kind of pretty much chip away at his HP levels. I'd say Gohan has about 65% HP left over, so you know, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, we definitely need to use the item here, obviously. And since HP levels were below 50% at this point, before the item recovery, Golden Frieza will get that increase. I think it was 120% toward attack. That is pretty much a secondary passive where he gets an attack percent increase based on if HP falls below a certain percentage. He'll still get the 50% damage reduction, but he does get a pretty big boost overall to attack once HP falls below 50. Luckily, there's no real attacks coming in the second slot, so you know, good sweet spot for Metacooler to be on. And Janemba, I mean, you really don't have to worry about anything with him. You can place him anywhere you want to, essentially. Alright, so let's see how much in HP. Yeah, very little left. It's pretty much game over at this point. And then we got the transformation. I guess both of them did. So the friend lead, I think, was 100% potential, so might as well place him there first. And then here I was like, damn it, I am going to pretty much waste a lot of time off the Dokkan mode attack, even though it wasn't really needed. But, you know, whatever. I mean, might as well close it out on a high note, I guess. But, you know, it definitely does take a few seconds off the clock had I not went into Dokkan mode. I mean, Gohan pretty much would have been eliminated out of the picture anyhow. So, you know, definitely did add some extra time to it, but not much, I don't think. Alright, so that is pretty much it for the Movie Boss category stage of the brand new Super Battle Road stages. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.